This literature had to deal with the brain size, head measurement, a whole lot of things that had absolutely no scientific basis. Now, people looking for the missing link. The missing link cannot be possibly found any place except in Europe. So they created a man in Europe, took a skeleton, buried the skeleton, dug it up. Didn't have any ancient history, so he got to create some. In the meantime, there were Europeans debunking all of this. No one paid any attention to then or now. But in the closing years of the 19th century, there was a royal prostitute in Belgium named Leopold who had houses of joy in different capitals of Europe. And he was spending a whole lot of money on these houses because he kept them the year round and sometimes could use them about once or twice a year. He's looking around for capital. There are nations in Europe who did not get in on the slicing up of Africa. They would call a conference at Berlin, where they would split up the rest of Africa, but all those got a little muscle. The Germans got a big slice. The Germans got 4 nice pieces. Southwest Africa, now Namibia, the Cameroons, Togoland, now Togo, and Tanzania. They began almost a rehearsal for Nazism in Africa because the civilian governor of Southwest Africa was Jewish. The military governor was Herman Goering's father.
No.
If I didn't know what the documents, I wouldn't be saying it. Now, with these colonial wars being fought, African kings, so-called chiefs, been either driven into exile, driven to suicide. What do we got now? In the closing years of the 19th century, you got missionary-trained Africans who are now petitioning the European, appealing to his conscience, not knowing he had no conscience, where power is concerned. There's no conscience to appeal to. Thou shalt not, the religion that said thou shalt not was meant for you. He gave that to you. He didn't intend to obey it. Now after the Berlin Conference, and France getting more colonial territory, Germany getting colonial territory, Belgium getting the big Congo, Portuguese getting a little piece, all of the gangsters agreed on the slice. No African attending. And at this conference, an American Stanford allegedly attended the conference, saying as his rationale that the Congo might one day be a place to settle American blacks. Abraham Lincoln went through that same charade. Now you want to know what would have happened had Abraham Lincoln not been shot. I'm sorry he got shot. Had he not been shot, he had to make a movement to get all of us out of here. Even to the corner of Brazil, any place, let's get you out of here. And while he did not believe in slavery, because it was an unwieldy labor system, he didn't believe in your presence and said point blank, you will never be the social equal of a white person in any case. So while you are welcome celebrating Lincoln's birthday, do a little sobering thinking and read Lerone Bennett's famous article, "Was Abraham Lincoln a white racist?" He asked the question and he answered the question affirmatively. He was.
All right.
Now, as we come down to the end of the 19th century, Africa is shifting gears. The warriors are leaving the field. The missionary-trained African activists are moving on the field. In Ghana, a brilliant politician, E. Casely Hayford, is in charge of the youth that exiled King Prempeh and his cousin, Ye Asantewaa, who led the last of the Shanti Wars. And these wars were really wars to maintain European control over Africa, therefore a part of global white supremacy. At this juncture, we see North Africa coming under the French. We see the Arab who's a colonizer and a slaver being colonized. We saw resistance coming within this whole structure. And yet we see an intellectual movement existing in Africa in reaction to the continuous presence of the Europeans. Along the coast of East Africa, Somalia, a man named Mohammed bin Abdullah Hassan, the British called the Mad Mullah, had fought the British up until about 1923. Along the coast of West Africa, the Asante Wars in Ghana had lasted from 1805 until 1900, when the exile Ye Asantewaa. After the exile Ye Asantewaa, Casely Hayford started a campaign for the return of the royal families and converted that campaign into a fight for independence. And when he died in 1931, he sent for a young student, Joseph B. Danquah, to send for J.P. and said, "J.P., the mantle is yours." Joseph B. Danquah, in turn, had a young student under his wing called Francis K. Nkrumah. Francis K. Nkrumah, after attending the Pan-African Conference in 1945 in Manchester, England, was broke, and in London, and like a whole lot of Africa, eking out a mere existence, serving the unfulfilled British women. Sinclair Drake, unfortunately deceased now, he said, when we get together, he said, "John, one of these days I'm going to tell the real story about these African heads of state and what they had to do to get along." I said, "Sinclair, have another cocktail." Sinclair has another cocktail. He's going to tell the real story. He never, the real story. I'm glad he never told the real story. My main point is that Joseph B. Danquah sent for his former student that until the end of his days he addressed as Francis K. Nkrumah. He never called him Kwame, just like he was in the classroom. And Nkrumah, being brought home to take the mantle of leadership from Danquah, got impatient. And instead of waiting for the mantle to be handed to him traditionally, seized the mantle and led the country to independence. Had he waited for it 2 more years, it could have been done more peacefully. There could have been a mixture of tradition and modernism. It would have been a much better state with the infusion of traditional government. Now, we were now becoming a prize to be captured, because the land, the resources of Africa becoming a prize to be captured. Africans were now relating to Africans in the Caribbean and Africans in the United States. A great Caribbean figure, Edmund Blyden, had proclaimed and literally prophesied the concept of black studies in his inaugural address, Liberia College, 1881. He had already written his crowning masterpiece, deserved to be reread right now, Christianity, Islam, and the Negro Race. All of us are mixed up on all the subjects. We're mixed up on all forms of religion. We're mixed up on all forms of politics. The European was still justifying the domination of other people through politics. All right, now, we had at the end of the 19th century a better Pan-African network when it took 2 months for a letter to be delivered than we've got right now. People were not boasting of any island they came from. The Africans understood the artificial nature of the state divided by foreigners. Some of them understood the artificial nature of the religion imposed on them by foreigners. All of this was a form of global white supremacy. All over the world, it began to happen. It had reached Asia. In China, the Europeans had their own courts. In Shanghai, there was hotels. The Chinese and dogs not allowed. And some of the people who will spit on you now were then being spit upon. All this is documented. Edgar Snow's work, another work called 400,000 Customers. The only Chinese woman that could go into one of the hotels had to be a prostitute or a cleaning woman. This kind of humiliation. The British had reduced an entire nation to dope, to opium. You think you can't survive crack? They were worse off than you ever was. If they survived it, you can survive it. But you ain't gonna survive unless you crack some heads. In the 1880s, an admiral named Perry kicked open the door of Japan to trade with the West, whether you like it or not. No, it's earlier than that. The Japanese were minding their own business. The silkworm, making that beautiful kimono, wooden shoe. Didn't even have a decent wheelbarrow. Never heard of a Toyota or a Datsun. When people are asleep, sometimes it's best to leave them alone. Now, I'm going to show you what they did that you still got to do until you do it. You are jiving about independence, about freedom. A Japanese educator called in the youth of Japan and told them what had happened. And he sent them to the leading schools of the world, to get that information, get that technology. And if they smear that body waste in your face, apologize for having your face in the way. So he sent them to MIT. They went to military schools in the United States.